The millions of people that watch me get so upset every time I say something that goes against morality or ethics or like the social standard. Like, let's say I tell you guys to cheat. Everybody gets so upset. But you see, you got to understand winning, unfortunately, it involves totally going against society. It just does. Capitalism itself, right, in the United States, which is one of those things that allows you to win and become more powerful than the government in a way. Like it allows you to be free. It allows you to surpass the people that control you. It allows you to live life on your own terms. Capitalism in itself is against morality. The same thing that society allows you to live by, which is capitalism, is also against all the things that society and moral standards are about. Like, for example, it's immoral to steal, but that's what capitalism is. Capitalism is stealing. Capitalism is literally you making something that's better than what exists so that you can take the market from others. You are bankrupting businesses. Somebody like Elon Musk, or an even better example is Jeff Bezos, bankrupted hundreds, thousands of people's businesses, in-person businesses. But here's the thing about it. I want you to think of capitalism as a way to grow humanity. So sometimes stealing isn't bad because everything is a catalyst for growth. All of these negative things, they force the positive to exist. They force the positive to exist because you see the human impaired, like the human nature is always trying to push forward. We are built to survive. So when there's something standing in our way, we're going to find a way around it. And that's what creates innovation. And something like capitalism, where even though you're stealing and bankrupting, right? You're if you are an average human being, you don't work for the government. You can't print money. So you're not creating new money. What you're doing is you're taking money away from existing businesses. That is theft. Whether it's morally correct or wrong, that's different. But it is theft. It is theft, even if it's not done on purpose, even though it is done on purpose. It's a calculation. It's like, okay, I'm going to make this business that's going to do this better than this business so that this business is obsolete and my business thrives. But here's the thing. It forces humanity to grow. So is it bad? Is it bad? You got to understand, for somebody to win, somebody has to lose. When they tell you to get married, when they tell you all these moral standards, they want you to lose. It's that simple. Like it's either you win in the relationship. It's either you are the man you're the free man. You are the masculine imperative. You're free. You do whatever you want. You sleep with whoever you want. Or the woman does it. There's no equality. There's no middle. The middle is just an invisible, it's a false, it's a fake bridge that's temporary that, by the way, they're trying to destroy with all these other things they're implementing, feminism. I want to go back before I get sidetracked talking about capitalism. The thing is, for you to beat somebody, you need to innovate. That's the secret. That's why capitalist countries grow. Because let's say you create, like, let's say Amazon was created, correct? It had to innovate. So it's not like it just replaces all the existing businesses. No, it did something better, meaning it did create new jobs. It did create new opportunities because it innovated. To beat somebody, you have to be better than somebody. So you're still going to bankrupt them. You're still going to take their business, but at the same time, you're also creating new businesses and creating something that is pushing humanity forward. So capitalism forces humanity to push forward. Even though it involves stealing, it also at the same time involves growth. Doing something that hasn't been done so that you can take over the other businesses and make them obsolete. So it forces innovation. And this is what all the negative things do. Any war, it forces the entire human race to develop things that can end the war, to develop different strategies that force humanity to grow and prosper. We get more advanced. That's what it is. The most negative things, the things that morality tells you is so horrible and bad, is actually the catalyst for all the growth in the entire world. But this thinking that they want you to constantly wake up with is just keeps you locked in. It keeps you locked up. And it keeps you away from asking the questions, which is the whole point. It's either you win or you lose. That's it. It's that simple. If you want to win, other people have to lose. America is a great country because every other country sucks. If every other country was just as good as America, America wouldn't be a good country. The bad creates the good. The good creates the bad. The good cannot exist without the bad, and the bad cannot exist without the good. Do you understand? The world is black and white. And anybody who tells you otherwise is just trying to make you believe something that is just not true. They want you to stay weak. They don't want you to ask the questions that are just objective questions. Yes, no, yes, no. That's what builds a strong human. So what I want you to think about is think of humanity as like a whole entity. Think of humanity as one human. Every time you make a mistake in life, every time something bad happens to you, you get back up and you rebuild yourself and you're now one step further. So that means that all the war, all the bad things that happen in life to humans, to humanity, are they bad? Or is it just the natural course of life? Because the negative is always going to exist and it has to exist for the positive to exist. If we live in a world where we're trying to get rid of negative, then guess what? What we are saying at the same time is that we're trying to get rid of positive. If we're trying to get rid of all evil, we are at the same time trying to get rid of all good, because without the evil, the good cannot exist. What defines a millionaire is the fact that somebody else is broke. If everybody was a millionaire, nobody would be a millionaire. It would have no value. But see, they get you thinking with these hard lines. Like you can't ask these questions. You can't think this. You can't support this person. You can't. No, 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 no. And they have you in this world that is just creating you into a weak man. This idea that you have of what the world should be, morality and ethics, it just creates a weak individual. What I want you to focus on is just growing. That's it. Just grow. Go out there and figure out something that hasn't been figured out. Do things because you've been given the gift of energy. That's what a life is. Duplication. That's what life is about. It's just duplicating. That's it. It's at the core. That's all it's about. Duplicating. That's what we can do. At one point, there was a cell and it just split. And that's life. That's the story of life. And what you are given with is a new source of energy. And most people, they work a 9 to 5. Most people, they never use it. Most people never figure out anything new. They never go out there and contribute. So contribute. Contribute. Do something. Win. You need power. You should take pride in the fact that it's in your human nature to become as powerful as possible. Don't be afraid to bankrupt somebody. Don't be afraid to cheat on your girl, because you need to become a winner. Because you know what happens in turn? When you live for purpose and you live for growth and you live for pushing humanity forward, you're going to naturally go against a lot of the things that they tell you are moral. You're going to be immoral in many, many different ways. But if nobody like you existed and nobody ever pushed those boundaries, we would never develop, we would never grow, and humanity would just be on pause. So we need these people. We need these people that oppose the system. And less of them exist. And let me tell you, feminism, what's going to happen soon is it's going to be damn near impossible for you to use this capitalist dream that everybody has, where they can go from the bottom to the top, because the middle is the middle is going extinct, because the middle doesn't actually exist. And the idea of the middle is just crumbling into pieces. People are starting to realize that, okay, this is not really what it is. The people at the top control everything, meaning there is no middle. What's the difference between the middle and the low? The low class and the middle class, it's the same thing. Neither of them have power over one another. The only people that have power are the elites at the top. And what they're doing is they want to secure their families with all the money and all the power in the world. And what they're going to do is they're going to break that bridge of the middle, so that you can't go from low to high. You just stay at low, and the high stays at the high. The elites stay elite, and the bottom stays at the bottom. And this is what they're trying to do with all these ethics and all this morality and all these societal norms. They want you to stay weak. They want you to stay emotional, because they want to destroy that bridge from the bottom to the top. And they do this by instilling you with all these emotional ideas and all these things that they tell you are bad. You can't steal. Stealing is capitalism. Capitalism is stealing. I'm not telling you to go rob somebody, but I'm telling you that if you live by the boundaries that have been set by society in other sections of life, like business, if you are moral, you will never be successful. Ever. Ever. And that is the point. That is the point. They want you to be moral because it keeps you weak. But there are correct times to be moral, and there are times where morality will just keep you at the bottom. Question the system. Nobody's questioning the system. Where are these people? Why is nobody pointing this out? Question the system. Ask the questions that need to be answered. Ask the questions that everybody else is too afraid to ask. Understand what the world is about. Stop going by somebody else's morality. Create your own moral sense, your own moral ideas. What is all of this? What is the point? How do I achieve this? How do I understand the truth? Why do they want me to believe this? Why do they want me to believe that? Why do they want me to get married? Why do they want me to love so much? Why do they want me to love this? Why do they want me to love a woman rather than love myself, love my purpose, love my future? If capitalism is the American dream and power and money is what gives somebody a life where they're free and they can take care of people around them, why are they telling me to invest in the love that makes me weak? Cuddling in bed is just going to keep you weak. Going to the movies is going to keep you weak. Why don't they want me to invest in myself, in my future, in my goals, in my dreams? Why is nobody pushing that image? Why is everybody pushing in every love song? In every song, it's about love. Every movie, every TV show, every single person you see online, all of social media, it's always about love, 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 love. And if it's not about love, it's bad. But the thing is, the love that they push is the wrong kind of love. It's the love that doesn't actually exist. It's a love that keeps you weak. It's the love that you can experience once you have attained all the things in the world. Once you have become powerful, you can make those sacrifices of, you know what, I'm going to go be on bullshit with my family or with this girl or with this person because I love them. But you don't even have anything to sacrifice to show that person love, because telling them you love them isn't love. You right now as a young man need to go out there and sacrifice and do the things that everybody else is afraid of doing. But nobody tells you to do that. Nobody. Nobody tells you to do that. Why? Why is the narrative love now when you can't even love right now? When loving now will just keep you weak and at the bottom. That's it. That's what it is. Keeping you at the bottom. Destroy the middle so that the bottom stays at the bottom permanently. We're going to go back to the time when there were kings and there was a kingdom and the powerful always stayed powerful and the weak stayed weak. That's what we're going back to. Ask the questions that everybody else is afraid to ask and understand that the world, all of it, every single person is stacked up against you. And everything they create, society, morality, all of it, is here to prevent you from winning. And that's a fact.